I grew up like listening to hip hop because of my dad and stuff, and so I've always been a performer growing up in the community, and it was pretty mad, like doing traditional dancing and all that, but not only that, doing hip hop dancing when I was a kid growing up. And if you search up Millingimbi dances, there's like a video that'll come up in in Royal Darwin show, and you'll see me when I was a kid dancing. It was mad, it was mad. So I've always been like a dancer and stuff, and like a performer, and finally get to fall in love with music and started making music, which ended up being an incredible journey. After, I was kind of playing around, I was joking when I made Cloud 9, and that was kind of like, I was just writing it because I got the inspiration working with all the remote communities, working with kids and helping them out to write write music in their own language and stuff, and that sort of like inspired me. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna make something for myself, just for fun, and then ended up putting on YouTube. I had a time in community back in where I grew up, and made the video clip there while I was teaching dance to all my little cousins and nephews and all that. So it was an incredible time, and then ended up putting it on YouTube, and then it blew up, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, what do I do? Like I'm a dancer, not a rapper. Like this is insane. So Cloud 9 was the first track that I've ever wrote. And from that, it kind of like started snowballing. And so I had my first interview with Triple J, and I was freaking out. Like I didn't know what to say. I had no media training, and secondly, like English was my third language. So I was like, oh yeah, my name is Denzel. I'm from Arnhem Land. I love fishing. I love seafood. Grew up in Millingimbi and all that. And yeah, it was pretty mad. And then from that it just kind of kept snowballing. So then made like Mariuna, Mr. Ladi Dadi, Mirijan, Cool as Hell, and then it just kept snowballing, and it was just a crazy journey. Some kid from remote community moved down to Melbourne for like dance and stuff, and then just went crazy. Anyway, it is like thinking back now, it was been like a crazy journey for me. And I had so much fun, like, touring and stuff and dancing and doing festivals, because like, I don't know, I probably did like more than 80 shows a year. And it was pretty insane. I don't know where this little thing gone. Oh, right here. Oh my God, I'm touching my hair and all that. It was pretty mad, and like, it's always nice to go back home. I did not know how I survived growing up in community, because it's hot. I mean, like, I'm still trying to adapt to Melbourne weather. It's crazy. But I live in Ocean Grove, because it's quite nice, because I grew up on an island, so I need to be near the beach, near the ocean and all that. So it's quite nice to be over in somewhere nice, quiet, and a lot of retired old folks out there. But you know what? The best thing about them off is that they talk to me like they've known me forever. And so it's always really nice. And like I had an amazing time. Went to LA and back and did some like writing and stuff. So finding this new journey of Baker Boy. I mean, like, Gilla was amazing. And winning 5 arias was a lot of pressure for me to try and it was a lot of pressure to try and top Gilla. And so I was like, man, how am I going to like in a way evolve as an artist and trying to not beat but like evolve from Gilla. And so that was kind of like a lot of pressure to try and continue to make music and stuff. But I was like, what, I'm gonna finally start to go deep dive into it and try find more like a soul search. And so it was an amazing journey of like 2.5 years of trying to find music and stuff, and finally get to do it. And I had an amazing time, spending time in LA. The first time I took the didgeridoo, like the Iraqi, and everyone was like, what's that? Nah, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's like a It's like a traditional instrument. Like, what do you mean? Like, does it like a flute or something? And like, no. It's a full like, and it was very, very hard to try and explain. So I ended up like, yeah, I'll just show you. Start ripping it. It was like, oh, what the heck is this? It was like, it almost sounded like a drum and bass. Like, that's crazy. And so it was pretty mad. Anyway, I can talk forever, so I'm gonna, I'm gonna deep dive into it.